Right now, very pleased to have with us the host of Fresh Tracks with Randy Newberg here on Sportsman Channel, Mr. Randy Newberg. Randy, how you doing, sir?
Cam, I'm doing great. How are you?
I am excellent. Thank you for coming on the show this afternoon.
Thanks for having me
You
again.
bet. Oh, my pleasure. Now, listen, this week's episode coming up on Thursday sounds like it is absolutely fascinating. I think most people are aware now that your show is all about hunting on public land.
Exclusively, yep.
And so this week's episode takes you to Montana, right?
Yep.
Okay, and you're on public land. That's not unusual.
Nope.
What's unusual, though, is how inaccessible this public land seems to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the West where it's completely landlocked, and it's completely to the discretion of the landowner whether or not he wants to allow you access across the private land to get to the public land.
So it's open to the public, but it's not really open to the public.
Yeah, good luck getting there. And as the models of a lot of businesses have become about, what would I say, exclusive access, whether it's through trespass fees or outfitting or whatever. I mean, those are business models that are there, and they have a legitimate reason for wanting exclusive access.
Right.
Whereas me, I'm representing the guy who says, you know what? I'm too proud to pay for that.
Okay.
So these are our lands. These are our elk. I'm going to find a way to get there.
Absolutely. And I don't want to give too much away, but I think it's fair to say you did find a way to get there.
Yep.
And it was actually quite a bit cheaper, it sounds like, than actually paying for the ability to walk across this private land.
Yeah, I mean, what you saw us do cost us $700 per person, which is still a chunk of money.
Yeah.
But for the best ranches and the best elk hunts in Montana that control some of this access, it's $10,000 to $14,000 to go through their way. So, being the tightwad accountant I am, I guess I found a different way. That
is fascinating. And you say this is a big problem.
It is. The General Accounting Office says we've got 35 million acres of BLM and Forest Service land that has inadequate access.
35 acres of public land.
35 million, yeah.
That's tough for us to get to. If not, I won't say impossible, but let's say tough or difficult to get to.
Yeah, one or the other, sometimes both. So that's part of what we do in our show, Cam. We try to pick some areas that maybe have some difficult access or reputations for, not many people hunt there because it's tough to get to.
Yeah.
And we try to show people how to do it. And the creative mind, the what do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. So kind of applies in these cases.
Absolutely. Has this forced you to take up skydiving, Randy?
No, my wife won't let me do that.
I think you get up the Kiefer brothers, I think they actually land and then get to offload. You just start jumping and airdrop down into these. We got a whole new show, buddy.
Oh man, you might be onto something. Will you be my wingman?
You go first. And we can laugh about this, but look, this is our land.
Yep.
Not to go all Woody Guthrie, but this land was actually set aside for you and for me, and it's not unreasonable. Absolutely. Listen, I'm a big believer in property rights.
Me too.
But we gotta come to some sort of understanding here because we the people need to have access to our lands.
Yeah, a lot of states are working on it. A lot of private groups and nonprofit groups are working on it, but it's a hard one to solve. And the National Shooting Sports Foundation, our good friends there, did a study in 2008, and the results of that study said the number one response given for why people quit hunting, don't get into hunting, or hunt less than they normally would is lack of access. And that's not me saying that. That's the National Shooting Sports Foundation,
right?
And their survey saying that.
Absolutely. What about just quickly on the other side of this coin, Randy, what about the accessible lands? Like over the past weekend, I started scouting out the local wildlife management area nearest my house, and I'm lucky enough that I've got a couple within probably 40 miles of me. Do we actually have easily accessible public land for people to get to?
We do, and that is the good side of it. You know, if you look at the national or the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service lands, which is mostly the refuge system, the BLM and the Forest Service, we have 193 million acres of accessible land. And then 35 million that's maybe not that accessible. And then we have state wildlife management areas like you're talking about. And the good news is most of those state wildlife management areas and the refuge system was paid for by hunters through Pittman-Robertson dollars, through license dollars. Mm-hmm. And as part of that, most of those do allow hunting access. And I guess it would be grave political consequences, at least where I live, if any legislator decided they're going to close wildlife management areas to us.
Oh, absolutely right, and that's good to be able to put that into perspective. 35 million acres is not a small amount, but the fact that we have 193 million acres of land that's deemed to be accessible, that matters as well.
It does, and that's the premise of what our message is built on. Is it's out here, it's free, it's our land, you know, Woody Guthrie.
Absolutely.
And,
listen,
let's go do it.
Listen, before we let you go, we've got a clip of this week's episode. Can we share it with folks?
Oh, for sure.
All right, let's take a look at a portion of this week's episode of Fresh Tracks with Randy Newberg.
As long as we can clear the hill, I know you'll set us down south.
If I can get it.
But on this hunt, a couple things have me really excited. The first is, and I guess it's kind of obvious, this is not my normal mode of transportation. And second, my companion on this amazing hunt is my son, Matthew.
Never been on a helicopter before. Haven't been out hunting for 5 years, so it's definitely an exciting time right now.
My personal opinion is we need more and better access to public lands for public hunters. But there are many tracts of public land, great hunting land, that are completely surrounded by private property, making them inaccessible by foot. Still, it's our land and these are our elk. So I'll apply any creative ideas in my effort to show you ways we can hunt the ground and the animals that belong to all of us. When these people say, no, you can't cross our land to get to that public land, and I find a way around it, it makes me smile. If people knew how inexpensive that was relative to the opportunity it provides, everybody would be doing it.
There you go. All right, well, we figured it out. That's awesome. Randy, I'm really looking forward to this week's episode, man.
Thanks, Cam. It's going to be a good one. It's a pleasure to get to hunt with my son after he being gone to college for 4 years and then working a year. It was worth every penny of it.
I can imagine. I am now at the age, I can say this, where my oldest kids, my stepkids have gone away. I got a chance to spend some time with my daughter for the first time in a few years. And you're right. As your kids get older and those opportunities become fewer between, it's fantastic to hold on to those moments. And it sounds like you guys have had an experience that memories will last a lifetime.
They will, and I hope a lot of people tune in because when they see the end result, I think they're going to laugh even harder.
All right, Randy, you've sold me, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much. I sure appreciate you.
Listen, you come back anytime you want, Randy. I love what you're doing, and please keep it up.
I will. Take care.